Hi everybody, welcome to Crypto Grinders. Normally Ryan hosts the show, but today I'm dressed better, so I'm hosting the show. Okay, so a lot of you have been watching our channel, watching us make money, watching our members make money, but maybe this is not really for you right now. Your more important question is, can crypto get me debt free? Now Ryan looks rich, and he acts rich, and he talks rich, but has he always been rich? We all know that he was once 6 figures in debt, and that's about like 120,000 plus minus. Yeah, so
150,000.
Right, sorry, my bad.
How
did he get from being like from being in poverty or a beggar to where he is now? You know, wearing like branded clothes, branded watch. Do you have any sage advice for them?
The emphasis is not about what kind of clothes I wear or what kind of lifestyle I have now. I think the whole idea is to provide you, the audience, my lovely loyal audience, the value. Okay, so today's episode is all about you. Okay, when I first started, right, I was really in debt. Okay, I was 150,000 Singapore dollars in debt, which was equivalent to about 110,000 US dollars, and that was when I was, I think, 26 at the time, 26, 27 years old. So can you imagine being in 6-figure debt? How much debt do you have, Mike?
Well, I lost about 2 Ethereum in a really bad trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the worst amount of debt that you were ever in? You are not even, you are 20, you're already 28, right?
No, I'm 29.
29, and yeah. What was the most debt you ever accumulated? Dude!
Sorry.
What was the most debt that you ever accumulated, Andy?
Student loan, maybe?
Okay, and that was like how much?
24, 30,000.
So 24, 30,000.
Yeah.
So you see, this kind of debt is very manageable, right? For me, I was a little bit too adventurous. I had too little knowledge in the stock markets, right? That was also one of the things. Influence was the second thing, because my peers around me, because at that time I just had joined banking, they were trading and speculating in stocks. That was back in 2008, right? That was when Lehman Brothers actually collapsed, the whole subprime situation. So the stock market was like way oversold. I had no money then because I just started working, right? So I had to beg and convince my family to take out an equity loan from their home. Okay, and my parents, by the way, just so you know, are very conservative individuals. They have never invested in anything other than the property that they bought. So, you know, after lots of convincing, they finally agreed. I took that amount of money, which was at that time 150,000 Sing dollars. I thought that by buying all the various types of blue chip stocks, I was going to do well. But at the same time, my greed my greed got the better of me. So I saw for the fact that they were doing contra trading, or basically trading without any money upfront. So a contra trade is basically you have 7 days, your broker will open a bank account and a trading account for you, and based on your income, at that time I was making about 30,000 Sing dollars a year. Okay, bro, that's not a lot. That's like $2,500. So
high five.
So what happened was my broker would give me a leverage. Okay, basically an account for $30,000, which was a bit too much, but I was like, oh, okay, so I have 30,000 to play with, and I only needed to settle that 7 days later. So I thought, since it's so highly volatile, I'll go into a stock trade, right, and hope that this particular stock will go up in 7 days. So I was actually leveraging more than I should. I didn't have the money, guys. So what happened was I started to get very adventurous. I made money sometimes, but I always lost a lot of money. So eventually, a good part of that 150,000 that I borrowed actually went up in smoke, right? Because every time I would be very emotional basically, and I would always lose money because it didn't turn profitable in 7 days. Okay,
so
that's
long
one.
Story short is you lost your family's money lah.
Eventually, but when I started investing, I also lost that money because the market didn't recover based on what I thought it was. That is the frustrating part. When I did start to invest in those blue chip stocks, they didn't recover until basically they didn't recover at all. Some of those companies even got acquired, and those stocks didn't even make money, man. So that was how frustrating it was back for me, right? And how did I turn it around? That is I think the whole idea of this episode.
So how about your mindset during this time? Do you feel like ashamed that you borrowed so much and then like you lost everything, like your family's hard-earned money?
I felt guilty that I lost it, but I wasn't ashamed. So same thing goes for you. If you're currently in debt right now, you should not be ashamed, because firstly, being in debt, right, sometimes is based on a certain circumstance. Now, if it was a circumstance where you were irresponsible, okay, then being guilty is fine. But you shouldn't feel ashamed of being in debt if you have the intention of gradually clearing that debt and eventually wanting to be debt-free and being responsible for why you were in debt in the first place. Sometimes people get retrenched, right? Then there's all these liabilities that they cannot handle. That's not their fault, right? It's not their fault, man. Maybe?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so, you know, if you don't shut up. So, so end of the day, right, I think that you have to be able to come to terms with, even though you're in debt, what are you going to do about it? That is very important. What's the whole idea about how you're going to think of ways to clear the debt? So I think we're going to cover some of those ways. Like, personally for me, I felt that I had to invest more in myself because I didn't have enough knowledge. So I would say that if right now you are in debt, what are the ways that you can make more money? Firstly, in order to make more money, you need to be knowledgeable about what could make you money, right? So for me, I actually invested in a course that was only $500, and that was Total Success by Tony Robbins. And for that was a life changer for me. From then, I gradually went to his Unleash the Power Within in Sydney, right? And I didn't have much money then. I actually put all that on my credit card and gradually paid it off. I didn't have the money, I just had to work and pay it off. But I learned all these valuable things from the people that I met, and also his teachings, because as we all know, Tony Robbins is a billionaire and he's a serial entrepreneur. There are things that the key takeaway for me during that was don't allow your limiting beliefs to get the better of you, and at the end of the day, take action. Because a lot of people like to procrastinate. So for example, if they learn something, right, they procrastinate. Instead of doing it, they just like, you know, they will analyze and think, what's my risk? Should I be doing this? What will other people think of me? Fuck that, and just do it, right? Even if you get it wrong, it's fine, because you can always try again. That's my takeaway. That's what I would do. I would invest in knowledge. How about you, Mike? Or maybe
I'm going to go to Andy.
Because
you've been dominating it.
Yeah, sure. I'm always dominating.
So right, people always say, right, invest what you can lose.
Yeah.
So if I'm already in debt, how am I supposed to invest?
Okay, so I think Ryan mentioned a great point, right? Which is investing in yourself. Now, the other thing that you have to understand is this: is that when you are in debt, you are emotionally more challenged in that sense, right? You tend to take either more risk, or you tend to be more risk adverse. Basically, you're more of emotional, right? And when it comes to emotional trading, it's something that we don't really advise on because it's very taxing on you. But at the same time, the more money, that is the reason why. The first thing first is you need to understand what is your debt. Okay, and you need to come up with a plan, right? Are we gonna mention that? Yeah, so you need to come up with a plan with your close ones, your family, and then you need to start realizing that what is next? Like, what do you have to do to get out of that? And that's what we were trying to say, is that can crypto get you out of that as well?
Correct.
Yeah,
right?
but before that, you have to cover for the fact that what are the ways?
Yeah.
You know, what are the ways, right?
So I'll give you some of the generic ones.
We talk about it? Okay.
So you note down your expenses. You try to cut down on the unessential stuff, like, you know, luxury goods and any like entertainment stuff. You know, try and find cheap, affordable alternatives. So like instead of going shopping, maybe you just like, you know, stay at home and like read a book, or, you know, go for a run. You know, those kind of like free things you can do. So the other stuff that you have to take out is like your essentials, so your food, your utilities, your bills, education, insurance. I mean, they are costly, but you really need all of this if you're going to be responsible.
So your second way is more of being accountable.
Accountable for
accountability. So the second is to be more accountable.
Dabao lunch to work, you know, don't just go and buy food like somebody, you know.
It means to buy back the food.
Yeah.
So it's like being prudent, being
frugal.
Frugal.
There we go.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So once you have all that, right, you have a little bit remaining. Let's say assuming you have a job lah. So with this little bit left, right, is it wise to put it all into crypto?
Now here's the twist. What if you don't have a job?
What if you don't have a job? Okay.
What if you don't have a job?
Get a job.
No,
First and foremost, you
okay,
need to get a
but
job.
the economy is really tough. I've been applying a job for 2 years. I don't have a job, Mike.
Yeah,
I tried. I've been sending those
Freelance
resumes,
jobs,
man.
odd jobs, you don't have to get a comfortable office job, every day 9 to 5, can go online. There are websites that let you, take payment for doing freelance jobs. So like Upworks, that kind, you put a bid out down there for a certain task or service, and then if you meet it, you get paid. I mean, it's done from the comfort of your house. You just use your own skill sets, whatever you have. All you need is a computer and like internet connection.
I think we need to categorize into two categories here. One is unemployed. What do you do as unemployed, and what do you do as an employed person?
Sure.
Right. So the strategy could be slightly different. So I think they spoke about unemployed. Let me talk about employed. Right. So let's say you have a 9 to 5 job. Now, personally, for me, before I even joined Crypto Grinders, I was actually employed. Okay. So, but I have to build CG. I have to build CG at night. Okay? So basically my whole nights and weekends sometimes I burn for CG for the business. But that's how I survived, and that's how I built through. And at the same time, though I have a full-time job, I didn't have a lot of debts. I just want to accumulate that income so that I could potentially put it into the crypto market to roll it. But that worked out for me. Okay, so it can only work out for you if you have that kind of ambition, you have that kind of drive to do something different in your life. Because you only got one life. You gotta live it to the fullest, and then you gotta do something about it.
Would you say that being an entrepreneur is for everybody?
No, of course not. Like some people say, oh, I'm born as an entrepreneur. No, you just have to develop that skill along the way. But at the same time, you have to carve out that time that this is for business. You need to carve out that time for family. And when it's business, it's business. You get down to work. But when it's family time, you prioritize them at the same time. So that's why I feel it's a balance, and that's essential. And not everyone is a business-minded person, of course, right? So that's why you have freelancing work. You gotta put your passion to work. What are you passionate about? Ryan, for example, is passionate about quantum, right? So that's the only thing we know, right? And he can basically talk to you about quantum for 4 hours.
And he gets paid for it.
And he gets paid for it. Come on.
And Mike, talking about quantum,
Mike loves Star Wars trilogy, right? What if he can write for Star Wars? Wow. Or what if he can sell merchandises, design things?
On to that, right? Yeah. So if you can do what you love, right? Yeah. What makes crypto a good place to help you get out of that? Why crypto? Why not just do stuff that I love? Yeah.
Well, okay, like I think we gotta share this example, right? We met this guy. We don't want to say who, but if you're watching this, you will know. We met this guy at an IT show, remember? And he likes to gamble. He likes to play poker for fun, for leisure. He has a little bit of debt here and there, and that's what we are aware of. So when we met him, we introduced crypto to him. Okay, he was very, very apprehensive at the start. He was thinking, how does this really work? Alright,
a gambler apprehensive about crypto.
Yeah, precisely. but then because of crypto, it took his time out from gambling, and therefore he has more time to speculate. He's now kind of like a researcher. He researches into projects. He gives great feedback to our community and things like that. Crypto kind of transformed his life. From being gambling, in different poker or whatever, into now being more of being able to do fundamental analysis, being able to do a little bit of edit away from technical. I'm really proud of him. Don't you? Yeah. So this is just how life was transformed based on crypto. Now, of course, he didn't over leverage. That was a good point, honestly. Yeah.
But I think from a standpoint, right? I think crypto is not the only answer. Okay, it's just that it's a new space, right? People are still curious about it. There's an element of speculation that you can participate in the early stages of a project. That's why there is that return, because of the risk that is involved. But however, should someone who is in debt be putting all their funds or a good portion of their funds into cryptocurrencies only? No, I wouldn't advise that. But I would advise the individual to learn the space, learn about the fundamentals of what makes the blockchain, what's a utility token, what's an asset token, what's a security token, what are digital currencies all about, why do they even exist, and what are the benefits, what are the risks involved, and then from then you decide for yourself. That's kind of like how I look at it. Also, there's the fact that you can fractionalize. That means you can buy bits of a particular cryptocurrency. That's the beauty. Because if you talk about any other asset class, financial asset class, you have to buy a whole unit of it. You can't buy, like for example, if you have the intention of buying 1 ounce of gold, you want to buy, like say, maybe 50 grams. It has to come in that denomination first before you can purchase. You cannot like scrape it off from the 1 ounce and get 50 grams. It doesn't allow you to do that. But cryptocurrencies allows you to do that. So if you kind of have a strategy, an investment strategy that allows you to do that, that's called dollar cost averaging, by the way. You can dedicate a small portion of whatever that remains that you're willing to invest in. You can do that. like for example, before you do all that, I think I highly recommend investing in knowledge first. So what are the key aspects of this space that you would recommend to this space, or what books have you all read?
Is this the time where we point out and say click the link?
Maybe you should click the link so that I think
check out
the articles, and also at the same time the books that we have read. Yeah, that is very important. So this is kind of like how I would look at it. But Mike, what about yourself? You're someone who is new to the space. You don't have much debt. You're gonna get married soon, actually. Right. So you are gonna step into this new chapter of your life. Do you think you're financially prepared?
No, but that being said,
Your wife is.
Thanks, bro. I mean, yes, she's financially prepared, but as in,
how is it that she's financially prepared and you're not? What happened?
Government, bro. And I spent 2 years in army.
So
I learned nothing there. I mean, no offense to the army, but yeah, I learned nothing there. Nothing about finances anyway.
Okay, bro.
Okay, so I watch YouTube videos. I go and read the Medium, read Steemit, read white papers. Basically, just get a feel of what it's like before putting money in. Yes, I borrowed money to put inside.
Nice.
But from there, I mean, okay, you kind of make it back slowly after a few mistakes here and there. You just have to put in small amounts. Like I didn't put in like 1 million or like 100,000. I don't even think I put in 10,000. So like you can put in very small amounts and you can get back like significant returns if you're disciplined. Don't aim for like 10x or 20x. Every day like 5%, 10%.
Do you make any mistakes?
Oh, so many mistakes. When you look at the white paper, you're like, yes, this is a god paper. You click buy and then you realize that actually it's not much.
And that is the thing.
Everything sounds good on paper, right?
Experience is very important, guys. I think that was the main purpose, because without, you can have information that you turn into knowledge, but ultimately knowledge turns into actual application and then experience. Because if you don't take this path, a lot of people just want the knowledge, but then they fail to execute accurately and they get the wrong experience. So the whole idea is to kind of have the full 4 stages, right? At least find the information first, turn it to knowledge. From there, make sure that you apply and get experience. This is kind of like how I would kind of put it, and that's what you did, right? Kudos to you.
I'm still doing slowly but surely.
I think in order to learn, you gotta pay some school fees. Same as trading. You will lose some money along the way, but you just have to learn it. That's the only
it's
way,
also
right?
a good thing. If you always make, right, you feel too confident.
Money makes money, guys. Alright, there's no such thing as a free lunch in this world, right? There are a lot of free content in this space for sure. But ultimately, whatever you do, if you were to start a small business, do you think that you're gonna do everything for free? Your website costs money, right? There's always going to be initial capital for marketing, right? You have to create some sort of product. So even if you are using sweat or you just use sweat equity, for example, you still have to have some materials and whatnot and the knowledge. Where are you going to get all this knowledge from? You have to trade something. It may not necessarily be money. So at the end of the day, I think it's just a matter of what kind of capabilities you have. And if you have to hustle over the weekends, guys. If you want to have a lifestyle that no one else has, you have to be willing what no one else is willing to do, right? If you are, you're going to be complaining all the time, then how are you ever going to be well-to-do, or how are you going to clear yourself from that? Stop complaining, start doing, and I'm sure you're going to be doing just fine.
If you have any problems, let us know. We'll try and cover the issues in our link.
Feel free to comment below, like how you're gonna get yourself out of debt,
how much debt you have,
even. Don't be shy. Like I told you, no shame, right? And then from then, once you address it, you put yourself out there, I'm sure you're gonna be doing just fine. Alright, just follow the steps in this episode and we'll see you in the next video. See you guys.
Bye.